it's me, Dr. J. Thank you for joining us for Behavior, Health, and Wellness. I am so excited to be here with my guest. This is Miss Taylor, the mortgage queen, Tara Taylor. Am I saying that right, Tara?
You are. You are.
Okay.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. It is a pleasure to be with you today. I believe that on behavior, health, and wellness, we have a responsibility of making sure that we are looking at every opportunity to promote healthy thoughts and healthy being. And one of those things definitely is talking about opportunities for growth and advancement, and mortgage and home ownership is definitely one of those things.
Yes. Yes, it
So
is.
tell us about yourself.
So my name is Tyra Taylor, aka known as the Mortgage Queen. A little bit about myself is I was a single mother of 3 boys. I've been doing mortgages for 22 years now. I absolutely love what I do. I specialize in residential mortgages. So anything associated with first-time home buyers, somebody that want to buy or build their dream home, somebody that may already own a home and they want to do a debt consolidation, maybe lower the interest rate. That's what I do. So I'm very, very passionate about helping people. I think that's one of the greatest success for me is the passion that I have with seeing loans from start to finish. In my spare time, I enjoy watching TV. I'm a inside person, so I said this recently that I think I'm still in phase one of this
Thank
pandemic.
you.
Phase one. So we don't really go out a lot. So and it's mainly because I do have an underlying condition. So I stay away as far as possible, but I do go to the grocery store. I enjoy spending time with family and then watching TV. So that's what I do.
Well, that's a great thing. And I mean, it's great to hear that you are compliant, so you are part of the solution. And right now, I'm not sure if you can see that I felt like I was going to represent you today by wearing my crown. Since I
Oh,
in
thank
the
you.
company of a queen. And I'm not sure if you know this about me, but I'm a second line queen. I love to second line. I actually was a second line queen for an organization. So I wanted to pay homage to a queen to queen.
Queen to queen. Well, I love it. Maybe you can teach me how to second line
Oh,
because
no
I
problem.
have a big event that I'm planning and I hope that I can second line at this event.
That sounds so wonderful. So tell us about, I know you briefly touched upon it, but tell us about your clientele. Who would use your services?
Anybody that's residential. So whether you're first time home buyer, somebody that already own a property or wanting to upgrade their property. So anybody. I'm not one, I will say this, I'm not a person that is afraid of a challenge. So what I mean by that, like if you don't fit in, like when you go to a lot of banks, you have a certain box that you have to fit in. And if you don't fit in that box, they're not going to help you.
Right.
I'm not that person. So if you don't fit in a box, then I'm gonna help you get, structure something to put you on preparation for home ownership. So I help everybody. So I'm not the person that if you don't fit, I'm not going to call you back. No, I'm going to figure out a way to help you. Now, if you do the work, then we get your keys.
Now, let me ask you a question.
Mhm.
So, if an individual or a couple they reach out to you for a consultation, I mean,
Uh-huh.
is there a charge for consultation, or what can they expect?
So there's no charge for the consultation. The consultation is my way of giving back.
Gotcha.
However, in exchange for me giving back, because there's a lot of companies that do charge,
Okay.
the only thing that I ask is that once we get you prepared and get you on that path, get you ready for home ownership, the only thing I ask is that you let me close a loan. And I think that's a fair exchange. So I'm not charging you anything up front, and I'm going to work with you. You can ask me all the questions. You can email me. You can call me. You can DM me however you want. and I'll help you all the way there. And my success rate is very high with that, just so you know. So a lot of people that get keys are people that was, I don't say no, it's just delayed. So they have to do some work, and once they do that work, then we, work together, and then we get them keys.
Gotcha. I'm not sure if you remember, but when I reached out to you, I believe that when I saw some of the things that you were doing, we
Hmm.
here at Behavior Health and Wellness, we have several components that we introduce on the show. And I just looked at some of the things that you were doing, and you have a heart of gold. You are passionate about what you do. So I wanted to personally nominate you for our Boss Up segment, which is why you are here today. Um, so, I believe that we need to continue to celebrate each other and continue to look
Hmm.
and to make sure that we are focusing and letting others know who's out there on, with their boots on the ground, who's making
Hmm.
things better for us in the community. So thank you
Right.
so much for accepting the nomination.
Thank you so much for it's an honor. And I here's the deal. The deal is that God has gifted each and every last one of us with gifts, right? And I think and expect God expect us to that gift that he gives to us is to give back. I don't believe that the gift is for us to keep it to for ourselves. So I commend you on the work that you're doing as well, because it's really about us feeding each other. And that's how we have strong communities, is whereas we recognize each other's talents, each other's gifts, and we highlight and we promote each other. So there's a segment that on our lives on Wednesdays that I do, and it's a way, is my way of giving back. So I know I asked you if you would be our special guest coming up,
I'm looking
and
for my
you
invite.
it's coming. It's coming. I'm so sorry that it didn't come yet, but it's coming. It'll definitely be to you probably by the end of the day, by tomorrow at the latest.
Sounds great.
So we can get you scheduled, because again, these topics and it's so important to talk about, and also highlighting the gifts. Like God has, the time that we had spoken, I've quickly recognized that you're very, very passionate at what you do as well. So if you can help one person, it's the job is done. You know what I'm saying? And so I use that segment, that piece of the segment, just to highlight different people like yourself that's doing different things in the community, that's using their gift to bring awareness. So I absolutely adore what you do. Keep it up, and I'm honored that you will be our guest as well.
Wait, you just flipped the script. Now I'm interviewing you today. You are not interviewing me, Mortgage Queen. You just not look such a natural. Tell us where you normally have your segment and how people can find out more.
So my segments are normally on Instagram. Um, it's where I find my best success at. So I'm on Instagram, known as the Mortgage Queen. So you can search me up as the Mortgage Queen. And there are Tuesdays. I'm sorry, not Tuesdays. Every Wednesdays at 12:30. I specifically picked that time because I felt like if somebody's at work and they just want a good positive vibe, energy during their lunch break, they can tune in and listen in. And it's been growing. Um, and that way I bring the pieces on. Now, in addition to that, Wednesdays, I say that most people look at Wednesdays like hump day. I look at Wednesday like a best day, because right after that, at 4 o'clock, I start my consultation sessions. And this is another give back to the community. So somebody that's on the fence thinking about home ownership, but they just may have some questions, or they just may not be ready credit wise. We come up, we get together, we plan, and then we put them on that action plan so they can um, get there. And I ask them that they write down their goals.
Right.
And the reason I ask them to write down the goals is because if you see it, you can have it. So
Right.
if you don't write it down, you can't see it. So, and I ask them to write it down, stick it in a place or places that's very visible, so that way they know what they're working towards, and then we plan from there.
And that is just so on point because
Hmm.
our word of for the week is goals. So that is
Wow.
so on point. That is dynamic. I think
Hmm.
everything you're doing is absolutely wonderful. tell me, who would you say is your accountability partner? Because the business that you have, and you have your segment, and you're doing so much, who is that accountability partner that you would like to acknowledge at this moment?
So the accountability partner that I would like to acknowledge is my best friend, Adrian. She is the person that I go to. I go to her for anything. So like, and she keeps me very grounded. So like sometimes, I might be in my feelings about something that I'm dealing with, and I talk to her, and she'll be like, well, T, look at it this way, or don't look at it that way. Or even if there's an idea that I'm thinking about doing, I'll run it by her. She say, oh, okay, I think it's good. Or she may say, hey, listen, I think you should maybe hold off or work a little bit harder or plan it better, shall I say. And then she keep me, if I'm not moving at a fast pace, see, did you forget to do this? Or don't forget to do that, or work on this. And let me tell you something. I had talked about energy on my live today. And I remember one time I had, and this was last year, and I was by Adrian's house. And on Fridays, like, or not just necessarily Fridays, the end of the month, at one time, Adrian would drive me around. So that way I can still do my work while I attend my closings. This is before the pandemic. And so we was over there, and I had a situation going on with a fire on a file. And so I hung the phone up with somebody that was yelling at me. And then another call came in. And so that energy transferred to the other call. And so when I hung the phone up, she's like, T, can I record you? I was like, yeah. And so I'm done, getting all my stuff together. And she said, T, the way you handled that, it was so inappropriate. The energy, the customer felt the energy, you need to fix it. And so I was like, I didn't really realize it. So she said, you was dry with the person. And then when the person was like, okay, I'll call you back, he was like, okay. And so I called the person back and I said, hey, listen, I just want to just apologize because I felt like my energy was not very good to you, not pleasant. And so the person was like, well, you know what? I did kind of feel a certain kind of way, but I just took it as maybe she's just busy or just having a bad day. And so what I got out of that piece was that we have to be very, very careful on the energy and the people or the things that we allow to come in our space. Right. Because if we're not careful, that will transfer on to somebody that don't deserve it. Now, what would have happened? And I asked myself, what would have happened if I didn't make that right with that customer? Wow. That customer could have felt some kind of way and went somewhere else, or could have took a prejudge me based off of that, and it never was intended to be negative. And so I fixed it, and now it's like one of those moments, one of those things that if I'm feeling a certain kind of way, I won't accept any calls because, it's just not fair. It's just not fair. So I wait till things calm down, and then I start returning calls, or I accept the phone call.
Well, it sounds like you have a great accountability partner.
Yes.
And actually what you were speaking of is called, as a social worker, I'm a licensed social worker. I'm a licensed master social worker. Mm-hmm. And we call that transference. Because you can feel a certain type of way, and then a energy is in your midst. And you can be in a great mood, and somebody can come and just bring negative energy to your surrounding, mm-hmm. and your whole mood will change.
Yes.
Transference and counter-transference, those are terms that we definitely deal with in social work as well as behavioral health. So I am glad to know that you have a great accountability partner. And yes. We all need accountability partners, because at the end of the day, we're only human. And right. The day that we stop understanding that is the day that, we cease to exist. So thank you so much for joining me. Let people know how they can get in contact with you for more questions or whatever they want to talk to you about.
So the easiest way to get in touch with me is to call me on my cell phone or send me a text message, and that's 504-269-7018. Or another way to get in touch with me is if you follow me on Instagram. I am known as the Mortgage Queen. So it's THE Mortgage, Mortgage, and then Queen, Queen. And follow me, especially if you have an appetite for home ownership, because the content that we put out, we always trying to put out content that is valuable. So
Right.
it's going to be information that's going to really, really help you through this process. Because buying a house, it is a process. It is
Right.
serious a process, and it's very stressful. And it's like that because of the unknown. And so the whole purpose of me having the platform and using the platform in that the way that I use it is to bring awareness. So that's the best way to reach me.
You're doing a great job. You
I
definitely
appreciate you,
bought
sis.
up with us here at Behavior Health and Wellness. Thank you, Mortgage Queen. And for
Thank you.
anyone who has tuned in, if you have someone who you would like to nominate for the Boss Up segment, or who will be a great guest here on Behavior Health and Wellness, send us an email to behavior.healthandwellness@gmail.com. That's behavior.healthandwellness@gmail.com. I am your host, Dr. J. It has been great to be with you, and I look forward to speaking with you soon. In the meantime, be well.
Thank you.